A girl without a voice, a world full of noise. But silence can sing. Prepare for a moment that will change everything. Mia stood in the wings, heart racing, the weight of her silence pressing down like a heavy curtain. The theater buzzed, an electric anticipation filling the air. For years, she had watched from the sidelines, her dreams trapped behind a barrier of sound. Today, that barrier would shatter. The spotlight flickered, illuminating her trembling figure. The audience leaned in, unaware of the storm brewing inside her. Every breath was a battle, every heartbeat a reminder of the words she had never spoken. But beneath the surface, a melody swelled, waiting for its moment to break free. As the curtain rose, Mia took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the stage beneath her feet and the gaze of hundreds upon her. This was it, the moment she had longed for, the moment she would finally be heard. The silence of her past echoed in her mind, a haunting reminder of all she had endured. But today, she was ready to transform that silence into a song. Before we dive deeper into Mia's incredible journey, please subscribe to our channel. Your support is everything to us, and it's the only way to ensure stories like Mia's, tales of resilience and hope, reach more people. Together, let's amplify the voices that often remain unheard. So please, hit that subscribe button now. Mia's life had always been a series of unspoken words, a silent film playing in a world that sang in vibrant colors. As she stood backstage, the familiar faces of her friends and family blended into the shadows, all of them unaware of the tempest brewing within her. Each one of them had supported her in their own way, but no one could truly understand the depth of her struggle. Her mother, Clara, was the first to notice something was wrong that day. Watching Mia fidget with the hem of her dress, she leaned in, concern etched across her face. "You're going to be amazing, sweetie. Just remember to breathe," she whispered, squeezing Mia's shoulder reassuringly. But Mia only nodded, her heart pounding louder than the applause that echoed from the audience. In the front row, her best friend, Sarah, sat with her hands clasped tightly. "You've got this, Mia. Just let it out," she mouthed, a bright smile plastered on her face, yet her eyes betrayed a hint of worry. Mia appreciated Sarah's unwavering faith, but the pressure to finally speak through song felt like a mountain pressing down upon her. As she stepped forward, she caught sight of the audience through the curtain, a sea of faces, each one a reminder of her years of isolation. Children giggled, pointing at the stage, their innocence a stark contrast to the heavy silence that had enveloped Mia for so long. It was a world where sound was a gift she could not grasp, and now she stood on the precipice of reclaiming it. The theater was alive with whispers, a mix of excitement and curiosity. "Did you hear? She's going to sing!" one woman exclaimed, her voice dripping with enthusiasm. "I can't believe it, after all this time." Another replied, "What if she can't?" The tension hung in the air, thick and palpable. Mia could feel the weight of their expectations pressing down on her, but she also sensed something else. Hope. The hope that perhaps her silence had been a cocoon, and now she was ready to spread her wings. But as the music began to swell, doubt crept in. She recalled the years spent in therapy, the countless hours practicing her breathing, the moments of frustration when her voice would falter, the tears she shed in the quiet corners of her room. What if her song didn't resonate? What if the world still chose to ignore her? In the wings, she spotted Mr. Lawson, her vocal coach, pacing nervously. "Mia, remember what we practiced. Let the music guide you. Feel every note in your bones," he urged, his eyes wide with a mix of pride and anxiety. His faith in her had been unwavering, but even he couldn't shield her from the tempest of emotions swirling inside. "Just remember," he added, "this is your moment. No one else can tell your story like you can." With those words echoing in her mind, Mia closed her eyes, allowing the melody to wash over her like a gentle tide. The music was her lifeline, a bridge connecting her silent world to one where she could finally express herself. And then, as if the universe aligned, the moment arrived. The spotlight danced on her face, and the audience fell into a hushed reverence. The first notes filled the air, a soft, haunting melody that seemed to wrap around her like an embrace. With every ounce of courage she could muster, Mia stepped into the light, and for the first time, she opened her mouth to sing. The sound that erupted was pure, rich, and unlike anything anyone had ever heard. It flowed from her like a river, each note soaring through the theater, brushing against the hearts of everyone present. Gasps of astonishment rippled through the audience. Her voice, once confined to silence, now filled the room with raw emotion and beauty. Tears streamed down Clara's cheeks as she listened, her heart swelling with pride and disbelief. In that moment, the years of heartache, the struggles, and the triumphs crystallized into a breathtaking moment of connection. The audience was spellbound, each person drawn into Mia's world, feeling every ounce of her pain and joy. They were no longer mere spectators. They were participants in a transformative experience. "Wow," whispered Sarah, her hands covering her mouth in disbelief. "She's incredible." As Mia continued to sing, the music transcended mere notes. It became a story, a testament to resilience, a celebration of the human spirit. The silence that had once defined her was now a powerful force of expression, and she poured her soul into every lyric. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. With every verse, Mia could sense the audience's disbelief melting away, replaced by a collective understanding of her journey. The whispers of doubt faded into the background, replaced by the symphony of her voice. In that moment, she realized that she was not alone. She was surrounded by a community that had witnessed her struggle, and now they were part of her triumph. The connection was palpable, a shared heartbeat resonating through the air. As she reached the final chorus, the theater erupted into applause, a thunderous wave of sound that enveloped her like a warm embrace. Mia stood there, overwhelmed, feeling the love and admiration from the audience seep into her very being. She had done it. She had transformed her silence into a symphony, leaving everyone breathless, speechless, and forever changed. In that instant, Mia understood the power of her voice, not just as an instrument of sound, but as a beacon of hope for those who felt unheard. Her journey was just beginning, and she was ready to share her song with the world. The curtain had risen, and so had she. Mia basked in the afterglow of her performance, the applause still echoing in her ears like a gentle breeze. She had finally found her voice, and with it, a connection to the world she had yearned for. But as she stepped off the stage, the bright lights dimmed and reality began to seep back in. In the dressing room, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Her friends rushed to her, their faces glowing with pride and disbelief. "You were amazing, Mia! I can't believe how powerful your voice is," Sarah exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with tears of joy. Clara enveloped her daughter in a tight embrace, whispering words of love and encouragement. But as the celebrations unfolded, a shadow loomed in the corner of the room. It was Mr. Lawson, his expression a mix of pride and concern. "Mia," he began, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "There's something we need to discuss." The room fell silent. Mia's heart raced. Hadn't she just achieved the impossible? What could possibly overshadow this moment? Mr. Lawson cleared his throat, then continued. "I received a call from the hospital earlier today. They mentioned something that may change everything." The weight of his words hung in the air. Mia felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "They discovered an anomaly during your surgery. The doctors have reason to believe that your vocal cords may not be fully healed. They think you might lose your voice again," he said, his eyes filled with empathy. Mia's heart plummeted. The triumph of her performance felt like a cruel joke played by fate. No, that can't be true," she stammered, the reality crashing down around her. Clara gasped, her hands instinctively reaching for Mia's. "Is there any way to fix it? We can go back to the hospital. Get a second opinion. There has to be something we can do." Mr. Lawson shook his head, his expression grave. "The doctors are unsure. They want to conduct more tests. But the truth is, this could mean you may not be able to sing again." The room erupted in murmurs, each person grappling with the news. Sarah, always the optimist, tried to hold on to hope. "Mia, this doesn't mean it's over. You've just found your voice." Clara pulled her daughter close, her own tears mingling with Mia's. "My love, this doesn't take away from what you accomplished tonight. You sang from your heart, and that will always be a part of you." But the words felt hollow. Mia's heart ached with the weight of uncertainty. She looked around the room, at the friends who had believed in her, and at Mr. Lawson, whose unwavering support had been a lifeline. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that their faith in her was misplaced. As she sat in that small dressing room, the walls closing in, Mia faced the hardest truth of all. She had spent her whole life fighting against being voiceless, only to be confronted with the possibility of losing her voice once more. In that moment of despair, a flicker of rebellion ignited within her. If her voice was destined to fade, she would not let it go quietly. She would fight for every note, every breath, and every moment she had left. "I won't give up," she declared, her voice trembling with determination. "I will find a way to keep singing, even if it's just for myself." Mr. Lawson nodded, a spark of admiration in his eyes. "That's the spirit, Mia. You've always had an incredible strength. We'll figure this out together." The room buzzed with renewed energy, the initial shock giving way to a sense of purpose. Mia realized that this journey wasn't merely about her voice. It was about resilience, the courage to confront fear, and the strength to embrace uncertainty. As they began to discuss the next steps, Mia felt a shift within her. The love and support surrounding her were a powerful reminder that even in darkness, she was never truly alone. And in that moment, amid the chaos and confusion, she understood that her voice, whether it lasted for a moment or a lifetime, would always carry her story. She would not let fear dictate her fate. She would write her own melody, one note at a time. With a newfound resolve, Mia wiped her tears and smiled at her friends. Let's celebrate tonight. I may not know what the future holds, but I know one thing for sure. I'll keep singing as long as I can. The room erupted in cheers, and for the first time since the revelation, Mia felt a flicker of hope. The road ahead was uncertain, but it was hers to navigate, and with every step, she would embrace the power of her voice, no matter how fleeting it might be. As they left the dressing room, the applause from the audience still echoed in her mind, a reminder of the beauty she could create. The world was waiting, and so was her song. Mia stood at the edge of her dreams, the echoes of applause still resonating in her ears, but the weight of uncertainty loomed heavy in her heart. After the revelation from Mr. Lawson, the thrill of her performance had been swept away, replaced by a fear she had never known in this new, vibrant world. She had just tasted triumph, but now it felt as if the very thing she had fought so hard to reclaim was slipping through her fingers. In the days that followed, Mia grappled with her emotions. Every time she opened her mouth, she hesitated, the fear of losing her voice again creeping in like a shadow. Therapy sessions turned into battlegrounds where she fought against her doubts. Each note she practiced felt like a gamble, a delicate dance between hope and despair. Her friends rallied around her, but even their unwavering support couldn't drown out the whispers of fear that echoed in her mind. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, Mia found herself alone in her room. The silence felt deafening, and her heart ached with an overwhelming sense of loss. She picked up her guitar, the instrument that had been her companion through years of solitude. Strumming softly, she let the notes flow, pouring her heart into the music. This was where she felt safe, where her voice could be heard without fear of judgment or loss. Then, as she played, an idea sparked within her. What if she could use her experience to inspire others? What if she could create a platform for those who felt voiceless, just as she had? The thought ignited a fire in her spirit. She envisioned a concert, one not just for her, but for others who had been silenced, a celebration of stories and voices that needed to be heard. With renewed determination, Mia reached out to her friends and family. "I want to organize a charity concert," she announced, her eyes shining with passion. "It'll be a night of music, stories, and hope. I want to create a space for others like me to share their voices." The initial shock of her idea quickly transformed into excitement. Sarah grinned, clapping her hands. "That's incredible, Mia. We can make this happen." Clara's eyes glistened with pride, and Mr. Lawson nodded in approval, his faith in her unwavering. As the days turned into weeks, the concert took shape. They secured a venue, gathered musicians, and spread the word. Mia shared her journey through social media, reaching out to others who had faced similar struggles. The response was overwhelming. Stories poured in from people all over, each one resonating with her own experience of feeling unheard. On the night of the concert, the theater buzzed with anticipation, the air thick with emotion. Mia stood backstage, her heart racing. But this time, it felt different. The fear that had once threatened to consume her now transformed into a sense of purpose. She was no longer just a girl fighting for her voice. She was a beacon of hope for others. As the lights dimmed and the audience settled in, Mia stepped onto the stage, her guitar in hand. She looked out at the sea of faces, each one a reminder of the journey they had taken together. "Tonight is a celebration of our voices," she began, her voice steady and clear. "Each of us has a story, and every story deserves to be heard." The concert unfolded like a tapestry of emotions. Musicians shared their songs, while individuals stepped forward to share their stories, each one weaving a thread of connection. Mia sang her heart out, pouring every ounce of her soul into the performance. The audience responded with cheers and tears, a symphony of support that enveloped her like a warm embrace. As the night reached its climax, Mia invited everyone to join her on stage. "Let's sing together," she urged, her heart swelling with joy. "Let's create a chorus of voices that can't be silenced." And in that moment, something magical happened. The voices of the audience filled the theater, harmonizing with Mia's song. It was an explosion of sound, a powerful reminder that they were not alone. The fear that had once gripped her heart began to fade, replaced by a sense of belonging and unity. When the final note rang out, the applause was deafening. Mia stood there, overwhelmed, tears streaming down her face. She had found her voice, not just for herself, but as a rallying cry for others. In the days that followed, Mia received messages from people she had never met, thanking her for sharing her story and encouraging them to find their own voices. The concert had sparked something within her community, igniting a movement of expression and resilience. Mia's journey was far from over, but she had learned one invaluable lesson. Her voice was not just a sound. It was a message of hope, a testament to the power of connection. No matter what the future held, she would continue to sing, to fight, and to inspire others to embrace their stories. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this one. And as she looked toward the horizon, Mia knew that she was never truly voiceless. She had become a symphony of strength, a melody of courage, and a reminder that even in silence, one can still sing.